Hello, welcome to day 4 of Advent Code. I had a look at this one and I was quite excited about it because I think I can see a solution straight away. So I thought I would produce one really quickly. This one is a classic set into section problem. So if I look at the example, I have a set of values which are my numbers from my lotto ticket, and then I have a set of numbers which are the numbers which were drawn out, and all I need to do is I need to see how many of them appear in this set. Once I've determined that, if I get one card I get 1 point, and then it doubles for every other card after that, and then I just add up the total number of cards that I've got. I think that's what I do anyway, and we will see how we go. So I seem to have a big pile of cards. I've got 211 cards, and I need to work my way through all of them. So there's going to be some familiar things. We're going to do a bit of sets. We're going to do a bit of set operation. We're going to use intersection, and I think I can just do that on a list. I think you can cast it as a set, and then I will be able to use just two separate lists. I'm going to use some string manipulation to clean it up a little bit and tidy it up. I don't think the card number is important this time, so I think I could just chop that information and we should be good to go. It means that card 1 is worth 8 points. Yep, I've got a large pile of colourful cards. So let's do this. So what I'm going to do to begin with, I am going to say file equals, this is where we always start, file equals open input.txt. There's my file, and what I shall do is I shall loop through the whole thing. So for line in file is a nice way of doing it. I am going to split those values. First of all, I'm going to just get rid of the starting part of it. So card space 1. I'm just going to chop that at the point where I've got a colon followed by a space, and that will get rid of that. I'm then going to split that again on this pipe, and I'll get rid of the spaces around that as well, and I'm going to then split those values up into individual numbers, which are going to be split on a space, it looks like there. I'm also not going to take any chances, and for each line I'm going to trim it as well, just to make sure that I don't get any problems like I did with day 3. So first of all, let's make my variable, which will be called parts, is going to be equal to line dot trim first of all dot split. Strip, sorry, it's called strip, isn't it? Not trim, sorry. Strip dot split, and I'm going to split that on a colon and a space. That's going to get rid of the space immediately after the colon, and I need to put a speech mark there, otherwise it's not going to work. So that's going to give me my 2 parts, and then I'm going to have part 0, which is going to be my part on the left hand side, which is card, and the number, which I don't really need. I can just discard it, and I can just go to part 1, and I'm actually going to just split that again, and I'm going to split that this time on space, pipe, space, and that should give me 2 separate sides. So I am going to then take another variable. Let's call this numbers, and numbers is going to be split apart there. So I'm going to have numbers 0, which is going to be my own cards, and what I'll do is I'll call this my numbers, and I will say that my numbers is going to be equal to an empty list. And what I'm going to then do is I'm going to say, oh, actually no, I don't even need to do that, do I? I can just say my numbers equals numbers part 0 dot split on a space, and then I will say the drawn numbers is going to be equal to numbers part 1 dot split on a space, and I believe that will get me all of the numbers. So if I just did print my numbers, and then I did draw numbers. Let's see what I get every time. The built-in functional method object has no. It's because I need to put a bracket on that there. There we go. So it looks like I've withdrawn all of the values that I needed to get. So I've got 33. I've got all of my numbers there. God, these scratch cards have got a lot of numbers, haven't they? And these lotto draws have got a lot of numbers. In Elf World, there's a big chance of winning the lottery. Okay, so now I've got that. I am going to just see if they intersect, which is quite easy if I remember how to do it in Python. I believe what I can do is I can say I have got a set, and I think I can literally cast that as a set like that. Now, if I just did this here, print set my number, I should see the numbers. Oh, it's called my numbers. That's it. It does work. So this brace, the squirrely brace as I call it, denotes that this is a set of data. So I am going to. So it's like a tuple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that set, and I believe what I can do is I can say intersect. I think that's an object of that, and I'm assuming I put the other set into there. Drawn numbers, and that should give me back set has no attribute, intersection. There we go. So that has given me a set of numbers that is the intersection between those two other sets. So in the first line, 38 should appear in both of them. So I've got 38, which does appear on the first line, and does it appear in the other line? Yeah, it does appear in the other line there. Now, the only thing that I have got, something weird happens there. I've got a blank line. Now, I assumed that means there was an empty set. There was no intersection, but it does not appear to be the case. I think it is where I have a single digit value there, and I've got a single digit value there. So I've got a bit of a problem that my splitting of the values when I am splitting them on a space does not work when I have got a single number, because what it's doing is it's doing a split there and it's doing a split there. So what I need to do, probably to tidy that up, is to, now are they treated, they are actually they're strings, aren't they, rather than integers. It doesn't actually matter because I don't need to actually process them as numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little value every time I come across a single digit value. I am going to just put a 0 in there, or an X, or it could be anything, and then that way it won't cause me a problem. Now, is there a quick way of doing that? That is the question. I suppose what I could do is I could replace space 2, which would denote that it is a single digit value with a 2, with space 02. And I'll probably have to do that for, unfortunately, all the cases. Can you get a 0? I don't think you can, but you can get 1 to 9, can't you? So that's going to look a bit ugly. Is there probably a better way of doing that? I'll probably do it in a loop. I'm gonna do it in a loop. That's what I'm gonna do. So rather than, before I do this split here, I am going to take numbers part 0 and numbers part 1. In fact, I'm just going to take numbers. I'm going to take the whole thing there. In fact, I'm just going to take the line. I might as well just do it before I do anything to it there. Might as well. So I'm going to say for n in range, we will start with the number 1 and we will go up to number 10. So it's 1 to 9. And I am going to say if line dot. It's not if it contains, is it? I'm just going to do literally line dot replace, and I want to replace the string, which looks like this: space space plus n, which is going to represent my value, but I want to just cast it as a string. Otherwise, it's going to try and add those values together. I want to replace that with space 0 plus the string cast of n. And I want to assign that to line. So I'm going to literally count up from 1 to 9, and if I come up with space space 1, it's going to replace it with space space 1 0. So let's run that, and that has gotten rid of my values. Now I'm assuming that that third value there means I've got an empty set. Let's just see if the third card has no intersection. No, it doesn't have any intersection at all. Because I think the only intersection it had picked up was what it thought was 5 and 2 being the same thing. I don't have those numbers in order, so I can't really check them, but just a quick glance, I can't see any. So what I am going to do then is I'm going to basically find the cardinality of the set, I guess, which would be the amount of numbers in the set. I don't know how to do that. Is it just the length of the set, is it? So let's see if I just print the see if I print len of that. Does len return the length of a tuple? I think it does. It does, look at that. So 5 5 0. So what I need to do is for sets where I've got one item, I'm just going to get 1 point, is it? Let's go back and see. So the first time I get a number, I get 1 point, but then the second time I get 2 points. So it is going to be 2 to the power of how many items I've got minus 1. So for example, if I've got 4, I need to do 2 to the power of 3, because that's going to get me 8 points. And is it as easy as just counting them up? So rather than print len, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I've got a value called total equals 0. This can't be this straightforward, surely. Total equals len of my value, and I'm going to raise it to the power of 2. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to raise 2 to the power of len minus 1. Let's put a bracket around that just to ensure that that calculates things in the correct order. Total equals total plus, just to make sure I'm getting my values back. And then I'm just going to print total. Let's see what happens. 0.5. That's not right. So, what did I do? Did that not do what I thought it did? So, let's... It's not star. So in most other languages, it's you raise something to the power like that. Is that how it works in Python? 2 to the power of my value there. No. Well, that seems to have done something. I don't think that's done what I thought it did. Minus 3. No, that's done. That's not quite worked as I thought it would. Oh, it's because total equals total plus 2 to the power of that value minus 1. Okay, let's run it. I've got 23,690. Is that the answer? 23,690. Submit. That's not the right answer. The answer is too high. So what is catching me out? I didn't think it was going to be that easy. It did look a bit too straightforward. So let's go. I'm saying card 5 has no winning numbers, so it has no points in it. So I only want to do this if I've got a length, because what I'm actually doing there is I'm raising 2 to the power of -1. So I only actually want to do this if the length of the... So I'm going to tie this up a little bit. I'm going to say cardinality equals the length of my set. And then I could just do cardinality -1. Now I only want to do that if cardinality is greater than 0, because you don't get any points for not having a value there. Is that going to give me a slightly lower number? 2, 3, 6, 7. Sorry, yeah, 2, 3, 7, 2, what is it? 2, 3, 6, 7, 3. Yeah, that is lower, isn't it? 7, 3. Let's submit it. That's the right answer. So that was quite a quick-ish solve anyway, and it's quite a short program, and I'm very happy with how efficient that program is. It's one of the times when Python has done very well for itself with its brevity and its strange range of functions and things that you can just call upon if you know what to do. There's loads of other ways of doing this, and it'd be interesting to see other people's solves. So if you've got anything interesting, share it with me, and I will see you for day 5 when I get around to doing day 5. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.